everybody, it's Ellie again from Budgeting is a Challenge. I'm here today to focus on rental houses, my experiences and how I can help you with that. Today we're going to be thinking about tenant void periods and how you can avoid that from being unnecessarily lengthy. Okay, so I've got 5 takeaway points for you. This will form my blog post that's out on Wednesday night at about 6:30. Check it out then at budgetingisachallenge.com. My first point is that you need to take 5 agents' advice really on rental figures to get a good idea of the market out there. Okay, I won't be diving into these points specifically because they're in my blog post, but the final point I will go into more detail because I think that is the main takeaway that you need to think about from today's video. Number 2 is I think you should research average rental figures from the area. I tend to use Rightmove every time and a little bit of Zoopla. It gives me a good idea because I never completely take the agent's word for what they're saying. Sometimes they overinflate figures and I find that you end up with a longer void because they then knock the figure down saying, oh yeah, well, it might be a little bit more realistic to do this. No, go yourself onto Rightmove, do a filter on your area with all the properties in your area that either have to let, but even more crucially, if you check the box that says let, then you can see what they've achieved. So that's my takeaway number 2. Number 3, renovate, make it fresh for that new tenant that you really want to attract, but don't waste your time on spending too much money. You need to set a budget. If you go to my post, there are more details about how me and Mr. Budget do that in a business-like way, and a worked example for you to follow as well. Takeaway 4, you need to be flexible. I can't say this enough. I have seen examples of people both selling houses and renting and trying to rent out houses where they're for the sake of £10 a month. Say, for example, a tenant comes to them through an agent and says, look, I love the house, everything's perfect, but the rent's £10 a month too much. Well, comes down to it, would you rather like £10 less a month or lose 500 a month for 6 months? You know, I know what I'd personally take. Anyway, there's a worked example of, you know, if you're not flexible, how that can affect your figures. So go and check that out on Wednesday. Another example of inflexibility that I have from real life from someone I know was, for example, not just doing something tiny that a tenant would like say for a pet. There was one person that I knew that all they wanted was just a cat flap installed in the door, literally. Well, even £12. But then if you got someone to do it, 20 quid a joiner for like half an hour and nothing, or you know, a DIY dude. Seriously, you've just got to think on your feet and think, right, well, is this something that I can provide, and will it really just like impact on my profits too much? If it doesn't, just go for it. Right, number 5, this is the one I'm going to really focus on. You need to monitor the sale when it's up online. Now, by that, I mean, it's not just monitoring the actual listing itself for success. It's actually monitoring the agent also. So first of all, I'll go into monitoring the listing. When the listing goes online, you want to make sure that the agent has taken clear pictures and is really showing off your property to its full potential. It's no good if they're blurred, or if they're dark, or if they come round on the evening and they've taken it with a flash. I really don't like that. I would be going back to that agent and saying, look, do you know what? I'm going to get it marketed with somebody else. Please, can you change the pictures? It's not doing my property justice, particularly if they only put 1 or 2 on. So that is the first point. Second point is that it should be attracting views already. The easiest way to check that is Zoopla have the capability to check viewing figures. Now, that is independent from an agent. An agent can tell you, but again, I'm sorry, I kind of go along with what the agent's saying, but not all of them have told me the truth. So you can go on Zoopla and check views, and that will give you an indication of whether your rental figure is correct. If it's not getting many views, or if the agent is saying to you, no, we've had no calls for arranging a first viewing in the first week, this is when alarm bells should be ringing for you. You need to monitor this. This is the time when you're managing your agent. Okay, your agent works for you, but some agents, they know that people will just take a back seat and, okay, your house goes down to the bottom of the part. So I would be proactive. I would be ringing that agent saying, what are you doing to help, my property be properly promoted? What they should say is that they've already offered it to their waiting list of potential clients. They should be suggesting it to people who fit that or that potential audience. Like one of my agents, they're really good. They do that automatically, but you might need to push an agent to do that. Once you've done that, they might just do this automatically next time for you, but there is no guarantee. So I will go back to them and ask that. That is your first question. Next question to yourself then is to discuss you and your spouse or whoever it is that's a business partner or whoever's involved with the house. Is my rental figure too high? Is it comparable to the other houses in the area? I would review after a week, check out the competition. If there are, say for example, yours is a 3-bed, it's just been done up, you've done it to a rental standard, but then there's other 3-beds, they're a lot bigger, and they're done to the same standard and the same rental price, who are they going to pick? So at that point, I'd be thinking, right, okay, what can I reduce it to that I still make profit, but then I am not wasting so much money? Because don't forget, you're going to be paying for insurance for the house as it's empty. You're going to be paying council tax. Even though some councils are really, really lenient with that, they'll give you 50% off for 6 months, but don't count on it. Some councils, even in, like, say, next to each other, they're so different. I've ended up paying council tax, water bills, and think about it, electricity and gas standing charges, even though there is nobody using the supply. It all mounts up, so you've got to factor in whether waiting for the ideal rental figure that's higher, that will take you longer, is actually worth all those bills you're going to pay. And communicating that to your agent. Put the ground rules down at the beginning with your agent that you expect to be called every week at least, or just called when they've got a viewing, and you will check in with them and just make sure how progress is going. Because what you want ideally is after 4 weeks at the most to have a tenant lined up, and then they've given notice to their landlord, and within 2 months max you've got a new tenant in that property. Okay, I hope that was helpful for you today. If you've got any questions, just get in touch, comment. Feel free to comment with your ideas for how to minimise tenant voids. And also check out my blog. It's going to be all over there on Wednesday night. I hope to find you over there. Okay, bye.